We've cooked up an absolute banger today. A wise man once said, wait for it, wait for it. If you can ride sand, well, boy, you can ride anything. Sand is easily one of the hardest surfaces to ride a dirt bike on. It's forever changing every lap. And after 24 years, I'm giving you guys my mindset to sand riding and a couple tips I've learned along the way. This is the Motocross Mindset to sand riding. My name is Grayson Ferenchek, aka Jetboy. I used to be a back of the pack C-class guy, and I have learned from hitting the ground, getting back up, and figuring this shit out, how to become a better rider in the sand. I will say this is my local track. This is a track I grew up riding because it was the closest to me, and I actually ended up liking the sand. At first, didn't like it, but because I was forced to come here, not forced, but just because I came here so much, I learned how to ride it, and I avoided becoming one of those guys that avoided coming to the sand track because he couldn't ride the sand. I figured it out. I mastered it, in my opinion. I'm a student of the game. I'm always learning, but I like to think that I've at least mastered the sand somewhat. Am I Jeffrey Hurlings? No. Is this Lommel? Heck no. But it's the closest thing we get to sand here in Minnesota, and this is one of the best tracks in Minnesota to ride at if you're a sand rider. These are some of the tips and tricks that I've learned over the last 24 years of riding, and hey, I think I turned out pretty decent, so hopefully you guys take something away from this. The first one we're going to touch on, it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Actually, nothing in this video is going to cost you anything other than some time. Suspension setup is our first go-to. The first thing that I would do when I put my bike in the sand or I'm going to go to the sand track is dropping my forks flush with my triple clamps. That raises the front end up and drops the rear. It puts the weight on the rear tire and takes it off of the front tire. The front tire is the first thing to dig in when you're going through the sand, and so if you can lighten that load a little bit, that's what you want to do. To help lighten the load, go 2 to 3 clicks stiffer in your forks. You want to do this to keep that front tire light. Give it a little bit more stiffness in the soft conditions. Now, if you're like, I've tried that and I keep crashing, or here's an example where you come into a corner like this and halfway through your front end folds, knifes, and launches you. Shoot, you might end up on the other side of the track. You know why that might be? Because your rebound is too quick, and before you've been able to go through the corner, the bike's already trying to jump out. So what you need to do is open up your rebound so that when you're coming through, that fork absorbs some of that bump and then allows it to kind of rebound slower and let you go through the corner and kind of put some of that weight on the shock and some of that force into the shock instead of into the fork. You're going to probably crash a few times trying to figure that out, but hey, it's sand. That's part of it, right? Now, a key that I learned was the tire choice. And while you might not notice it on a dirt bike track, specifically dirt track, sand, you're going to notice your tire setup. This is something where the first 18 years of riding this track, I had one wheel, one tire, and I used that whole tire for the whole year, and it sure as heck wasn't a sand tire because I needed to go everywhere. I learned that the sand tire on the rear is one of the most beneficial things you can do to your bike that actually is going to cost you money in the sand. If you can nail down getting the rear tire set up on your bike, that's going to be your biggest achievement, because coming out of corners like this, going up hills, and coming out of any sort of berm, that's where you're going to notice the tire the most. You won't notice it on maybe a flat like this or maybe trying to get to a jump, but when you're coming out of those deep, loamy corners, that is where you're really going to notice it. So for instance, right here, you dig in right here, that dirt tire's spinning. Whereas I'm gonna eat, pick up, and go. get to this next corner quicker than you. Now, I say that like I'm the fastest dude here. I'm not the fastest dude here. And I sure as heck have ran the dirt tire and learned the hard way that the guy in front of me, I probably could have beat had I had the rear right tire, but I didn't have it. And he was able to just go a little bit faster than I was and edge me off and hold me out. That leads me into cornering, and that is a perfect corner to lead off on. You want to ride the berm, and you want to stand as long as you can through some of these berms. Now, what's more important, standing or riding the entire berm? I'm going to go with riding the entire berm. Use that berm to your advantage and ride the entire thing. A lot of guys want to try to find the shortest way through, come in and cut down and not use the entire thing, but it kills your speed in the sand. Use the entire berm like this and ride through it. Carry the speed in, carry the speed through, and carry the speed out. That is what makes you go faster around a sand track. You come in all the way to the right, ride the top edge of that berm. And one little tip is that a lot of the times, the top of the berm is going to be smoother than the middle and the bottom. Now, standing. Standing is a big key, especially when it gets rough. Those whooped out corners get really, really hard to ride. And as a C guy, I was always like, God, how do they go so dang fast? You know, what am I doing wrong? How do you go through a berm that's all whooped out like this and not just get bucked around? They stand the entire time, or they're standing as long as they can. If it's smooth, hey, sit down and let that thing eat. But if it's whooped out and it's rough, the longer you stand, the easier it is to absorb those bumps, and it's easier to carry your speed through there. It also allows the bike to stay light. When you go into the corner halfway through and dig into that berm, it buries the bike. It slows you down. So when you stay light and you stand longer like this, come in, stand, then sit to the smooth part, keeps the bike light. It makes it easier to get through the corner and get out of it. And one little tip on that, riding the balls of your feet. Especially in those corners, you get those toes back, and you can see my feet right there. You get back just a little bit, and it really, really makes a difference, especially in the sand, because you're sitting, you're standing, you're sitting, you're standing. You can see how much, even for a little bit, you sit, you stand, and when you're on the balls of your feet, it just makes it easier. What I'm saying is go to the track and practice one of these things. Practice riding on the balls of your feet. Practice standing into the corner longer. Practice riding the whole berm. You don't have to do all three. Do one of them and send it all day long trying that one thing. Now, this might be the hardest thing to learn, and the easiest thing for me to say is to ride loose. Let the bike dance. You've been watching this video, and for the most part, my head is in the center of this screen, and my head is clearly at or over the bars for the majority. What is the rest of my body doing? It looks like I'm tango dancing out there because I'm just letting the thing go wherever it wants. That is one of the hardest things to learn in the sand. You want to be tight. You want to control the bike. You want it to go where you're trying to put it. And the sand's going to rule you on this one. It's going to take over. And so what you got to do is let that thing do what it wants. The perfect example is coming into this whoop section and going through it. These whoops are notorious because people want to force the bike to go straight, and you got to just let it do exactly what it's doing in this clip. Going all over, sideways, left, right, up, down, and you just got to be along for the ride. You get your feet on the back of your pegs, you open up your hips, and you let that bike just dance around under you, and you keep that throttle on. That is a huge part. Letting it dance and keeping the throttle on. Many times when guys get scared, I do it too. I do this all the time. When I get nervous, I let off the throttle. Shoot, when I would have like near crashes as a C guy, sometimes it'd take me a half a lap to get over what just happened. What I learned was if I held the throttle on and I let the bike do what it wanted, it would correct itself. It wants to step out, hold the throttle on. The second you let off the throttle, the wheel stops spinning. The inertia and forward motion that the engine has goes to a dead plant, and that's when you get launched. Is you let off, and then the bike stops and it launches you off. So keeping on the throttle and letting it do what it wants are two of the biggest things you can do to ride better in the sand. It took me forever to learn that. Forever. I mean, it took me 18 years to learn that simple concept, but the sooner you can learn to hold on the gas and let the bike dance, the faster you're going to become, and the quicker you're going to become that faster rider that you want to be. Head over the bars, unlocked hips, and on the gas. Those are the three best things you can do. So kind of going back, we've got suspension setup, we've got cornering, and we've gotten riding loose. Those three things are the main things that I've focused on. Take one of them from this video, apply it to the next time you're at the track, and then build upon it. See if you notice a difference. You might not notice it after the first ride, but do it all day. Then come back another time, focus on that same thing, and you will become a faster rider. I guarantee it. Be a student to the game forever. Never stop learning. I am that guy. I will forever keep learning and trying to build and become better and improve my motocross mindset. Dog, we just did 5 laps at BCMX, one of the sickest tracks in Minnesota. If you liked it, give Jetboy Co a thumbs up, a subscription. We'll see you guys in the next freaking video.